Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Scream. Fun fact, Tatum, who was Dewey's sister that was killed in the first Scream movie, ashes can be seen in Dewey's trailer in this film. This movie came out in 2022 and stars Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, and David Arquette, and was directed by Matt Bettineli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Scream tells the story of how Sam is lured back to Woodsboro after her sister Tara is attacked by the Ghostface Killer. Now Sam, with the help of Tara's friends, must try to figure out who the killer is and stop them with the help of some people who have some expertise in this field. This cast is filled with some great actors. Melissa Barrera was In the Heights. Jenna Ortega was in You. Mason Gooding was in Love Victor. Dylan Minnette was in 13 Reasons Why. Jack Quaid is in The Boys. Skeet Ulrich was in The Craft. Neve Campbell was also in The Craft. Courtney Cox was in Friends. David Arquette was in Eight-Legged Freaks. Heather Matarazzo was in The Princess Diaries. And Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett also directed Ready or Not. Scream is a slasher film that has you trying to guess who the killer is throughout the entire film. If you like Murder on the Orient Express, Fear Street 1994, or the original Scream, then I suggest that you check it out. One thing I've loved about the Scream movies, and with this one included, is how they don't waste their female characters and instead show that they are not to be messed with. It's cool to see that the main characters fight back and then win, even though the killer thinks that they have the upper hand. I love how within the movie there's just commentary on other horror films. We see that the film calls out some bad remakes like Flatliners, but does shout out some good ones like the Halloween film that came out in 2018. Halloween also came up in the infamous Drew Barrymore scene in the first Scream, and so I thought it was a cool callback that they included it in this one too, but also because the film itself is a classic slasher film. There was some references to Psycho's infamous shower scene, which was funny to see as well. One cool thing about them bringing up other scary movies is learning that Billy Loomis, who is the killer from the original Scream, who also makes a return in this movie, shares a last name with the psychiatrist Dr. Loomis from the Halloween films, as well as Sam Loomis from Psycho. It was cool that we got to see how these films are not only referenced by name in this movie, but there are also some hidden Easter eggs that ties all these films together. I didn't really expect the first person that got attacked in this movie to make it to the end. Usually that person dies, but in this time, we see that she really fought for her life, and I thought it was interesting to see how she survived and wasn't going to be in that situation again. It was definitely something that was unexpected for me because in most of the Scream movies that's the iconic scene is seeing these people getting killed right in the beginning of the movie before we get into the really fluff of the story. And so it was interesting to see that she got attacked, made it out alive, and man still kept fighting for her life. Wes Craven is the mastermind behind the Scream movies, but he unfortunately died in 2015. But this film paid homage to him by including a character named after him. I thought it was cool how they not only paid respect by paying homage to the original Scream, but also by having this character named after the person who really, created this franchise and helped this franchise to thrive. I love seeing the return of Sydney, Dewey, and Gail, but not Gail's bangs, which they do mention in this movie. They are the backbone of this franchise, and even though I knew that they were going to be in the movie, it still made me excited to see them back in this town that has caused them so much pain. I don't feel like I've ever been emotional in a horror film, but seeing Dewey die was kind of sad because he's been there since the beginning and he saw, how his sister died and now he died in this movie, which let you know that everyone was pretty much fair game at that point. It was interesting to see how the villain's main reason for choosing this group was that their connection to the characters from the original film. I thought it was cool to have direct ties to the original movie by having these people be related to characters from that movie. They also even choose to include the song Red Right Hand by Rick Cave, which makes several appearances in the original Scream and can also be heard in this TV show that you may have heard of on Netflix called Peaky Blinders. One thing I thought that could have used some improvement was hiding who the killers were. I immediately knew who the killers were because of some of the things that they did that make them super suspicious. In the original movie, Billy Loomis was the boyfriend of Sydney, and in this movie, Richie is the boyfriend of Sam. If this teaches you anything, is that you don't trust the boyfriends of the main characters in a slasher film. I think my favorite part of this movie is when Sam takes down Richie. She had been so embarrassed by her dad being a serial killer, and at this point, she finally embraces that her dad was an awful person, but takes a pointer from him and goes completely ham on Richie. I usually wouldn't condone such crazy violence, but Richie deserved what was coming to him. Scream is a great addition to a franchise I already love. The film not only has some new surprises, but also makes references that make this movie accessible to fans of the original and some newcomers. If you haven't seen Scream, I suggest that you go and watch it. It is a great horror film. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have not subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.